For 3 seasons in a row, The Boys hit the mark every single time, and it doesn't seem like this hot streak will end anytime soon. Since its first season, The Boys has been a huge hit with critics and audiences, and it's only gotten better with every new installment. All the existing seasons are certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, with the last 2 holding near-perfect scores of 97% and 98% respectively. The Boys doesn't shy away from physical or emotional violence, and it isn't afraid to sacrifice a beloved character in service of the larger story. The show is well anchored by Carl Urban's unhinged performance as Billy Butcher, while Anthony Starr also does incredible work as the psychopathic but powerful man-child Homelander. Everything we learn about the world of The Boys and its characters, every scene that moves the story forward, and every deranged act of violence we witness, helps to build the show beyond its original premise. It's no longer just a violent, darkly humorous take on the superhero craze. It's becoming a complex, familiar, and fantastical study of the real world's darkest issues. At the end of The Boys Season 3, Ryan leaves Billy Butcher and the boys to fly away with his biological father, Homelander. The two land among a crowd of people, consisting mostly of Homelander's radical fans, but also a few people protesting him in support of Starlight. This leads to a shocking scene where Homelander angrily decapitates a particularly rowdy Starlight supporter with his laser vision. Homelander's supporters remain quiet only for a few moments before they start to show him emphatic adoration, which comes as a welcome surprise to him. The question that Eric Kripke is seemingly going to ask in Season 4 is, can someone like Homelander avoid consequences for his actions? It will be very interesting to see whether or not Homelander faces any real legal ramifications as a result of his crime in front of hundreds of people. More interestingly, what will Ryan think of his father's actions? Judging by the smirk on his face following the protesters' gruesome death, it seems as though he's ready to side with his dad. In the first look at The Boys Season 4, which Amazon revealed back in 2022, the new characters Firecracker and Sister Sage were revealed. Taking to X, showrunner Eric Kripke posted the following: "These new supes are some of the best and craziest ever written for The Boys. You're going to love them. And by love, I mean be absolutely horrified and a tiny bit nauseous." Valerie Curry plays Firecracker, who wears a red, white, and blue getup, while Sister Sage, who wears a gold and bronze costume, is played by Susan Hayward. We still don't know a whole lot about the powers of Firecracker and Sister Sage, though Amazon did say that the latter is already 1,000 steps ahead of you in a tweet. Firecracker seems like a more hands-on suit, judging by her gun-themed belt buckle and the Glock 17 strapped to her thigh. In the official trailer for The Boys Season 4, she declares,
"This is a biblical war of good versus evil. And I'm declaring hunting season on Starlighters."
The Boys is many things, but subtle is not one of them. Much like the original comic on which it's based, the show is meant to serve as a dark satire of the superhero genre and society in general. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Eric Kripke went into detail about Homelander's real-world influences, saying that he wants to be the most powerful individual, but he lacks the abilities to deal with this magnitude of power. Kripke added, "So it's white male victimization and unchecked ambition. And those issues just happen to reflect the guy who, it's just still surreal to say it, was President of the United States. And it's a bigger issue than just Trump. The more awful public figures act, the more fans they seem to be getting." Kripke certainly isn't shy about clarifying the parallels between the show and today's political landscape. 2024 is an election year for America in real life. In Season 4 of The Boys, we'll find Homelander supporting a vice presidential bid from fellow supe and covert collaborator Victoria Newman. It'll be interesting to see how a fictional election in The Boys might be informed by real-world events. One notable change that took place in The Boys Season 3 is the state of Starlight's superhero career. After the violent events at Herogasm and Vought Tower, Annie January gave up her position on the Seven and tossed out her Starlight costume, seemingly for good. Now that the boys have decided to take a more democratic approach to their work moving forward, it makes sense that Annie will be joining the team full-time. It will be interesting to see Annie as a full-time member of the crew because she's butted heads with Billy Butcher since they first met. Annie and Butcher aren't enemies, but they have opposing ethical philosophies. Annie is probably the most morally upright character on the show, where characters like Huey and Maeve are meant to represent everyday people who try to do good but sometimes get caught up in feelings like insecurity and fear. Annie is a representation of everything that a good supe and a good person should be. Time and again, she's found a way to stand up to Homelander and Vought without sacrificing her morals, often in the face of terrifying threats. Butcher has remained adamant from the beginning that it's impossible to beat the bad guys unless you play by their rules, yet Annie has disagreed with him at every opportunity. The official trailer for The Boys Season 4 gives us a glimpse into what's sure to be a difficult adjustment period for both of them.
This is insane and desperate, even for you.
Well, insanely desperate's where we are, don't you think, love?
It's been announced that Simon Pegg will be returning for The Boys Season 4 to reprise his role as Huey's father, and that a new actor, Rosemarie DeWitt, has been cast as Huey's mother. In addition to a plot that will most likely be revisiting Huey's familial history, Cameron Corvetti has been bumped up to series regular as Ryan for Season 4. Resultantly, The Boys will most likely continue to explore the significance of family, and specifically what it means to have a fractured familial relationship. Throughout the show, Butcher, Annie, Homelander, Victoria Newman, and many other characters have had to deal with exploitative and abusive parents. Kimiko and Butcher have been forced to come to terms with their brothers' tragic ends, while Stillwell, Victoria, Mother's Milk, and Becca all made immense sacrifices for the sake of their children. Now in Season 4, a new dynamic will arise between Butcher, Homelander, and Ryan. Butcher, who took a paternal role in Ryan's life after Becca's death, will most likely be facing off against Homelander for the sake of Ryan's soul. Despite the fact that Butcher hurt Ryan with his rejection, Ryan still asked Homelander to spare him during their confrontation at the end of Season 3. There's still hope that Butcher can reinforce Becca's influence on Ryan, but right now the child is firmly seated in Homelander's camp. The Boys has many ties to Supernatural, which is another beloved show from writer-showrunner Eric Kripke. While Kripke is the biggest link between the two series, others have also crossed the Great Divide to join The Boys. Jensen Ackles was added to the cast as Soldier Boy in Season 3. And Kripke also ramped up the Supernatural Easter eggs that year, many of which can be found in Ackles' various scenes. At the end of Season 3, Soldier Boy is neutralized and put back into cryostasis after causing a lot of destruction in a short amount of time. However, we have a new supernatural connection to be excited about for Season 4, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played John Winchester. In the trailer, Morgan's character can be seen speaking to Billy Butcher. He appears to be an ally to Butcher, seeing him as the right person to oppose the supes. However, in this world where betrayals are all too common, no character is ever as simple or straightforward as they appear to be.
What's your code name again?
The Boys.
Oof. Who came up with that?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan isn't the only Supernatural alum who will be taking up a role in The Boys Season 4. Rob Benedict has been cast as a supe believed to be called Splinter. Benedict has been a working actor for a long time, with many 1- and 2-episode TV roles under his belt. He's probably best known for his role as God in Supernatural, and his recurring role as Richard on Felicity. Benedict's The Boys character appears to have an ability that's not exactly unique in the long history of superheroes, but it's one that's actually quite disturbing in practice. In one scene, Benedict's character is face-to-face with Mother's Milk and proceeds to split himself in two, which looks terrifying and clearly grosses Mother's Milk out. Outside of his self-replicating abilities, not a lot is known about Benedict's character, though he's clearly politically active. When he splits himself down the middle, he's wearing a t-shirt that says something about Starlight. Gen V is a recent spin-off of The Boys that premiered in 2023. The show follows several young, superpowered students at the Vought-founded Godolphin University, where they compete for a chance to join the Seven. While Gen V won't have a ton of overlap with The Boys, one major plotline from the spin-off will definitely carry over into Season 4 of the original show. Gen V introduced viewers to a new virus with the potential to kill supes. Godolphin's Dean Indira Shetty wanted to distribute the virus far and wide in order to take down everyone with superpowers that resulted from Compound V. Shetty was killed before she could fulfill her mission, and the virus ended up in Victoria Newman's possession. In the post-credit scene of Gen V Season 1, Billy Butcher shows up at the underground medical facility known as the Woods, where Vought manufactured the supe-killing virus as a failsafe. This was a big hint that the virus would play a crucial role in The Boys going forward, and the official trailer for Season 4 confirmed as much.
A virus that kills supes.
When Amazon dropped the first full trailer for The Boys Season 4 in May 2024, excitement among fans of the show reached a fever pitch. But it's not just the viewers who are hyped for the upcoming batch of episodes. Speaking to Esquire, Jack Quaid said the following: "It's my favorite season we've ever shot. It's a very intense season. You really get to mine the depth of every character, and it still has those what just happened moments." Quaid went on to say that he expects people to be pleasantly surprised about the way things pan out in Season 4. He added, "We take some chances that I think are really awesome. It's our best one yet." Quaid's words were echoed by Erin Moriarty when she sat down with Gold Derby. The Starlight actor explained that things are going to escalate in a way that nobody will see coming in Season 4. She said, "I don't think anyone could possibly predict what's going to happen, and I think it's going to cause a lot of gasps. It's going to require some mental preparation, even if people know what our show entails." Anthony Starr also spoke to the press about how the show and his character will continue to evolve in Season 4. He told the Los Angeles Times that Homelander has gone from being a perfect PR machine to someone who refuses to rein in his murderous rage. He added, "In Season 4, we'll be negotiating both of those elements. We've always tried to keep our horrible, warped, twisted little baby growing. One thing's for sure, Season 4 is shaping up to be epic."